Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Wiyag Mofwebe, and here is a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on Star Times channel 276. The National Association of Resident Doctors and the RD has announced the suspension of its planned strike after reaching an understanding with the federal government on key demands, including payment of outstanding allowances and improvements in doctors' welfare. The decision was taken after an emergency meeting of the association's National Executive Council, where members reviewed assurances from government representatives and resolved to give dialogue another chance. The association says the suspension was informed by progress made in negotiations, particularly commitments on the prompt payment of salary arrears, hazard allowances, and steps toward resolving issues surrounding the medical residency training fund. A heavy downpour has caused a major traffic gridlock along the Aya-Kefi Expressway in Abuja, following severe damage to the Kubo bus terminal. Rainfall impacted parts of the newly built terminal, with sections of the roof affected and debris scattered onto the highway, obstructing vehicular movement. The incident led to severe congestion along the busy corridor linking the Federal Capital Territory to neighboring Nasarawa State, leaving many commuters stranded for hours. Eyewitnesses say some vehicles were affected by the debris, while residents and road users made efforts to clear the obstruction to ease traffic flow. The Abuja Computerized Vehicle Inspection Center, operated by the Directorate of Road Traffic Services area, is the most impacted area on the highway. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has dismissed the backlash trailing his controversial short remark, describing it as a figure of speech. The comment, directed at a channel's television anchor during a media parley, had sparked reactions from media and civil society groups. Kabir Hassan reports.
When I was watching politics today, so if there was any way to break the screen, I would have shot him.
It was a comment that quickly drew a national attention. During a media interaction, the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, reacting to an analysis of Nigeria's political direction, says he will have broken the screen and shot a television anchor. The remark triggered widespread condemnation from media organizations, including the Nigerian Union of Journalists and other press freedom advocates, who describe it as inappropriate.
The media house, we should try as much as we can to be non-partisan, even though we are all human beings. I mean, when it comes to our official duty, we try to see how our citizens can get the best of reporting. It is important that our reporters should go and make research and find out actually what I've heard or what I'm sharing or what they have said is correct or not.
Responding to the criticism, Wike maintained that the comment was not a threat but an expression of frustration, adding that his relationship with the broadcaster remains cordial. However, the controversy has continued to raise concern about the use of strong language by public officials and its impact on press freedom. While the minister has called for the issue to be put to rest, media stakeholders say such remarks must be carefully considered in a democratic society. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you so very much, Kabir. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has raised alarm that a recent directive by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, could prevent it from fielding candidates in upcoming elections. It warned that the move risks undermining its participation in the electoral process. ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi, in a statement, said the crisis stemmed from INEC's decision to stop receiving correspondence from the party pending the outcome of a case before the Federal High Court. Presidential aspirants on the platform of the African Democratic Congress, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, have criticized President Bola Tinubu over the recent wave of attacks across parts of the country, urging the federal government to take more decisive steps to address insecurity. In a post on his ex-official handle, Atiku expressed concern that fresh incidents appeared to contradict assurances that are given by the president following the Angwan Rukuba attack in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. Similarly, Obi expressed concern over the spate of killings and attacks across the country, questioning recent assurances by the president during his visit to Plateau State. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening the Nigeria police force through sustained reforms, improved welfare, and strategic investment in modern policing tools. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashif Shettima, made these commitments at the 2026 National Police Day in Abuja. Security correspondent Kikelomo Okere has details.
The rhythmic stomp of boots, the precision of silent drills, and the spectacle of ceremonial march past set the tone as the Nigeria marked the 2026 National Police Day, showcasing discipline, strength, and renewed commitment to national security.
Help! Help! Help!
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, says his administration resolute in building a well-trained, well-equipped, and highly motivated force capable of tackling evolving security challenges, stressing that security is the bedrock of peace, development, and national progress. He urged officers to uphold discipline, integrity, and professionalism, noting that the uniform represents a covenant of service, not a license for abuse, and called on Nigerians to collaborate with security agencies, emphasizing that national safety is a shared responsibility.
There are professions that history rewards with applause, and there are professions that civilization survives by, even when their labor is too often repaired with silence. The burden of sacrifice the police shoulder is one we cannot afford to take for granted. For every nation is only safe as those who keep vigil while others sleep. In a season such as this, when the shadows of insecurity tell the will of our nation, we must not only stand with our police, we must equip them, strengthen them, and honor them.
The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, set the tone for a decisive shift in policing across Nigeria. He paid tribute to the fallen officers, affirmed commitment to welfare, and made it clear that rank will not shield wrongdoings and uniform will never excuse abuse. IGP Disu outlined a force built on professionalism, accountability, and community partnership.
Every life lost in service is a debt in our conscience. Every fallen officer is a call to do better, to be better, to serve better. To their families, I say this: your sacrifice is not invisible. Your pain is not ignored. Under my leadership, your loved ones will not be remembered only on ceremonies, but in the standards we uphold every single day.
IGP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, ESC Daga, holder of the MPM. Please.
As the final salute fades and the thunder of the marching beat gives way to silence, the true strength of the force lies not in the drills, but in protecting lives and properties. For millions of Nigeria, the real test begins after the ceremony, where trust, accountability, and security must be felt every day. From Eagle Square in Abuja, Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
Many thanks to you, Kikelomo. The military task force in Plateau State, codenamed Operation Enduring Peace, has neutralized 5 suspected terrorists and arrested a kidnapper in the state. Media information officer of the task force, Chinonso Ote, disclosed this in a statement where he noted that the operation carried in Wasa local government area involved a series of intensive clearance operations targeting known insurgent corridors. According to him, troops engaged in a fierce firefight with armed terrorists on the Babangida-Adua road, resulting in the killing of 2 suspects, while 3 others who tried to escape were also killed. Operatives of the Niger State Police Command have arrested 16 suspects accused of terrorizing residents in Minna, the state capital. The spokesman of the Niger State Police Command, Wasiu Abiodun, made this known in a statement where he detailed that the suspects would be prosecuted after the investigation. The suspects were caught during a police house-to-house sting operation and were in possession of cutlasses, saw, sickle, and other weapons. Suspected bandits have launched a coordinated night attack on multiple villages in Shanga local government area of Kebbi State, leaving a trail of destruction, razing homes, and an undisclosed number of casualties. The attack unfolded when armed assailants stormed Gebe, Kawara, Kalkami, and other nearby communities, exploiting the difficult wetlands terrain to carry out the operation. Eyewitness accounts and local sources say several houses were set ablaze, forcing residents to flee for safety. Security sources also stated that the attackers were believed to have emerged from hideouts in the Wawa forest in Bregu local government area of neighboring Niger State. Katsina State Governor Diko Rada has held an emergency security council meeting at the government house in Katsina. The meeting brought together heads of security agencies in the state, chairmen of affected local government areas, and representatives from the Nigerian Army, Defense Headquarters, and the Department of State Services. Also in attendance were officials from the Nigeria Police Force, Nigeria Immigration Service, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigeria Customs Service, Federal Road Safety Corps, Federal Fire Service, and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, has described the unveiling of Nitori as a bold and strategic move to unlock the vast economic potential of Nigeria's tourism and creative industries. The minister made this known at a media parley in Abuja. Anieti Patrick has details.
The Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, says the platform aligns with the federal government's renewed hope agenda, leveraging digital innovation to strengthen national branding and cultural diplomacy. The platform is built as a one-stop digital hub where both tourists and residents can explore destinations, experiences, and cultural content in real time.
Today marks yet another significant step in our collective journey to reposition Nigeria as a leading global destination for tourism, culture, and creative excellence. President Bola Tinubu has a vision and a mission to really use the tourism in this expression of diversification that he's looking at for economic expansion, job creation, and all the things that will move us to the $1 trillion economy.
Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority, Ola Awakon, noted that Nitori represents a decisive shift from traditional tourism promotion to immersive digital storytelling. He explained that the platform will collaborate with filmmakers, content creators, and institutions to showcase Nigeria's diverse heritage across all 6 geopolitical zones.
This initiative would not have been possible without the strategic collaboration and creative excellence of our partners, Talkley Creatives Limited and GN Misa International Limited.
As Nigeria steps boldly into the digital tourism space, Nitori is not just a platform, it is a statement of intent, a signal that the nation is ready to tell its own story, on its own terms, to a global audience. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
The Health Promotion Division of the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, in partnership with the World Health Organization, has launched a landmark initiative designed to harmonize health promotion, enhance communication, as well as integrate service delivery across the country. The development followed a 4-day technical workshop aimed at developing a national health promotion and communication strategic framework. According to a report from the Health Promotion Department, the workshop brought together stakeholders from federal and state health ministries, development partners, media organizations, and implementing partners. Taraba State Emergency Management Agency has intensified efforts to strengthen disaster response and management across the state through coordinated emergency interventions and strategic partnerships. The Executive Secretary of the Taraba State Emergency Management Agency, Audu Echuse, has overseen multiple on-site assessments of fire incidents in Jalingo metropolis, reinforcing the agency's rapid response to emergencies. Acting through senior officials, the agency's head directed assessment teams to affected communities where fire incidents reportedly caused by electrical faults destroyed residential buildings as well as displaced families. Let's turn to the stories for you now. Speaker of the Kebbi State House of Assembly, Muhammad Usman Zuru, is dead. Zuru died in an Egyptian hospital where he had been receiving treatment for an undisclosed illness. His death was confirmed by sources close to the Kebbi State's government, although details surrounding his illness were not disclosed. Until his death, he represented Zuru constituency in the State Assembly and was regarded as a key figure in the legislature. You're watching the live broadcast of a news cycle. The rest of the news continues after this break for weather, business, foreign sports stories for you on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us.
The dust is back and it's making a bold return. By early Tuesday morning, fresh wave of dust from the Sahara Desert will sweep into the country, casting a hazy veil across parts of Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara and Kebbi State. Visibility will drop slightly and the atmosphere will take on that familiar dry, dusty feel. But that's not the end of the story. As the day unfolds, this dust is expected to loosen its grip, giving way to a dramatic shift in conditions. Thunderstorms are set to build first over Zamfara and Kebbi State, then spreading into Kaduna, Bauchi, Gombe, Southern Borno, and Adamawa State. And it doesn't stop there. This storm system will surge further south, pushing into the Federal Capital Territory, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kogi, parts of Benue and Kwara states, before extending their reach across much of the southern states. So from dusty skies in the north to rumbling storms across the central and southern areas. It's a day of striking contrast across the country. Stay safe and stay weather aware. I am Akami Samarda, and thank you for watching.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate you staying with us here on News Cycle. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. Africa will need more than 700 data centers to support its growing digital trade ambitions under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Secretary General Wemkele Mene made this known while highlighting the scale of infrastructure required to drive the continent's digital economy. Africa currently operates about 220 data centers, according to the Africa Data Centers Association, just around 1% of global capacity. Experts say this gap is a major obstacle to expanding digital trade across the continent. It was also noted that the adoption of the Agreement Protocol on Digital Trade by African leaders marks a significant step toward building the legal and technical frameworks needed to boost intra-African e-commerce, increase private sector participation, and spread of cross-border transactions. The federal government has proposed 135.22 billion naira in the 2026 budget for what it described as electoral adjudication and post-election provision. The provision was contained in the House of Representatives order paper, which carried the report on the 2026 appropriation bill. The allocation was captured under the service-wide votes, a centrally managed pool of funds used by the federal government to finance obligations not tied to a specific ministry, department, or agency. Meanwhile, Lagos State government has announced that President Bola Tinubu will inaugurate a series of landmark infrastructure projects executed by the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu between April 8 and 9. Speaking at a media briefing in the States, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, said their visits underscored Lagos State's ongoing investments in transportation, education, public sector infrastructure, and economic development. Among the projects listed for inauguration are the Ojota-Okpebi Link Bridge, the Lagos State Geographic Information Service Building, a multi-agency government complex in Alausa, the Tolu Schools complex in Ajegunle, and a mid-level agro-produce hub in Abijo along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. Nigeria has achieved a major fiscal milestone, with non-oil revenue now accounting for 75% of federally collected funds, marking the end of a 14-year dependence on crude oil. The report showed that the country's revenue structure has shifted dramatically. Tax revenue now contributes 87% of total federal income, while oil's share has dropped to just 27%. Historically, oil revenue dominated Nigeria's federal accounts. Between 2010 and 2014, crude oil contributed roughly 3/4 of total revenue, leaving the country highly exposed to fluctuations in global oil prices. Let's move the news beyond our shores now. Nigeria is facing a significant food waste crisis, with an estimated 38 million tons of food wasted annually, making it the highest in Africa. The European Union, along with the federal government and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, has called for urgent action to end food wastes as well as promote sustainable consumption and production. They noted that when food is wasted, the water, energy, and labor that went into producing it are also wasted, while accelerating climate change and undermining global efforts to build a zero-waste circular future. As the escalating United States-Iran conflict threatens global medicine supply chains and raises fears of drug shortages and price hikes, pharmacists have advised Nigerians on long-term medications to take proactive steps to avoid disruptions in treatment. The concerns come amid worsening shipping disruptions around the Strait of Hormuz, a key global transit route now severely affected by the crisis. Experts urge patients living with chronic conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, asthma, depression, kidney disease, and human immunodeficiency virus (HIV) to avoid panic buying and hoarding medicines. Instead, they have been advised that such patients should maintain regular consultations with their doctors, pharmacists, and other health professionals to ensure continuity of care, especially if their preferred drug brands become unavailable. United States President Donald Trump has made another threat against Iran as the US and Israel press ahead with their campaign of airstrikes across the country. Trump warned that the entire country could be taken out today. This comes after the United States President had made an expletive-laden warning against Iran on social media, threatening to bomb critical infrastructure if it did not reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Let's go find some excitement quickly now from the world of sports. The Nigerian Shooting Sports Federation has reaffirmed its commitment to unity, performance, and the growth of the sport. President of the Federation, Commander Mohammed Shetima, made this known while hosting board members, coaches, and officials to a dinner in Abuja, and Nietie Patrick was there for Global Television.
President of the Shooting Federation, Commodore Mohammed Shetima, underscores the leadership resolve to strengthen teamwork and welfare within the sports. He lauded the National Sports Commission for providing platforms that nurture talent and boost Nigeria's prospects in global competitions.
We must be accurate. It's for our own betterment, all of us. It may look a bit stringent, but it's necessary.
Second Vice President and Para-Sports representative on the board, Abubakar Aliyu, described the para-shooting events at the 3rd National Para Games in Abuja as the most impressive in recent years, reaffirming the Federation's dedication to unity and performance-driven leadership.
The range alone, the refurbishing, the renovation of the range, which was being done in the administration, this new administration of under the leadership of our amiable president, Commodore Mohammed Sagir Shetima, in collaboration with the Sports Commission, which gave us a world-class range for our Para Games events. And I must salute their efforts and whatever they do to make sure we have a beautiful games and events.
The dinner is part of ongoing effort to consolidate internal cohesion and prepare for upcoming national and international competitions. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Again, we appreciate you, Anieti. Nigeria's under 18 and under 20 men's handball teams have arrived in Lomé ahead of the 2026 International Handball Federation Trophy Africa Zone 3 tournament as both sides prepare to compete for continental qualification. The competition, organized by the International Handball Federation, begins today till Saturday and serves as a key development platform for emerging talents across the region. Both Nigerian teams touched down in high spirits following weeks of intensive training camp, where emphasis was placed on tactics, fitness, and team cohesion in preparation for the championship. That's a full cycle here on the news. A quick reminder that we are on DSTV channel 365 and on Star Times channel 276. As always, we urge you to interact and subscribe across all of our social media platforms using our Global TV NG as well as other handles as you now see on the screen. I'm Wiyag Mofwebe saying a big thank you to you for watching. I'll see you again.